guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing and following me on Instagram, for watching my videos. I'm so grateful. My name is Diamond, and as you know, this channel is about my journey with endometriosis, and the aim is to just create a community of endo bullies, right? So endo bully is just, we're bullies against the disease, and we're gonna take control of it. That's it. So thank you guys for supporting me, supporting the kid. Thank you guys. Today I want to talk to you a little bit deeper about mental health. So I've got my board here with me because I told you guys the memory's going, the memory's going. So I have to have my little notes here. But I want to talk to you about mental health, like on a serious note. Is placed on my heart. God placed it on my heart to talk about this because mental health is a big thing nowadays. You know, not nowadays, for the last few years we have more awareness, there's more support groups, people are talking out more, people are going to therapy more, great things are happening, but there isn't a lot of conversation about people who don't necessarily suffer with mental health, but people protecting their mental health. And we don't talk about it. You know, we see a lot of videos on YouTube about pain to do with endometriosis, or surgeries, or the practical things that you can do to help. But what about your mind? What about your day-to-day low moods? What about the onset of depression? What about suicidal thoughts? You know, and that's for anyone who deals with any chronic illness. You know, I'm only talking about endo because that's what I have. I have stage 4 endo, but anyone really. So it's going to be a little bit longer than usual, but bear with me, ride along with me so we can go through it, okay? So I'm going to continue my story and let you know how I got to even talk about this topic. So I last left off, I had Lupron, the injection. I was on it for about 6 months. I told you guys all the side effects. I went on the combined pill. What happened after that? I went on a combined pill. I went to London. Before I went to London, my doctor told me that small cyst had come back, about 2.5 centimeters, but it don't have to necessarily be an endometrioma. It can just be a normal ovarian cyst. So that came back, it was about 2 centimeters. Change your diet and we'll see how it goes. So I got this book. I'm gonna show you guys the book. Hold on, bear with me 1 minute. Got this book by your girl Tia Mowry, the twin, because she's got endometriosis as well, and it's a cooking book, and it had all new recipes because I love food, right? So all of this new healthy living was new for me. And I went to London, and my mom done the typical mom thing, and she went crazy. Like, she bought all organic ingredients, making new meals. Like, she had my back. So I was on a strict diet for 6 weeks, and I'm gonna do another video about the things you can eat or shouldn't eat, or anything like that to do with food, some of the meals that I liked, on another video. But just to get you through it, so I went on a 6-week diet. I had a few hamburgers, maybe once or twice, a little cheat days, a glass of wine with my girls, but outside of that, I was good. And this is why it's important to follow God, okay? So when I say follow God, I mean follow his instructions, okay? So I went to London, and my friends and my mom and everyone's telling me I should just stay in London. It's COVID, no jobs are hiring, you don't need to go back, stay for your birthday. My birthday is in September, this is like June, so you know, just spend the summer with us. And my gut, as much as I wanted to stay, as much as I wanted to spend my birthday with my friends and family, my gut, which is God is my gut, my gut was telling me I needed to go back and I need to try again. You know, I'll be back in December, but I need to go back to New York and try again, no matter the struggle. And I was even thinking about health because, as far as I'm concerned, I've been eating well. So this cyst is going to shrink and I'll be good. And I came back, guys, to New York. And within a week of coming back, I was in agony one day. Like, I had a pain at the bottom, right at the bottom of my stomach, near my vagina, that I had never felt before. And I know my body. Like, make sure you know your body. So I know period pains. I know endo pain. I know gallbladder pain. I know all my pains. And this is something I never felt. And it was excruciating. It gradually got worse and worse. And I thought it was gas at first. You know, black people, we have a belly pain we don't recognize is gas, right? So I thought it was gas. And I was sipping some tea and it got worse. Like, the pain was just bad. And then eventually it went away. It lingered throughout the day, but that sharp banging pain, it just went away, and it just like lingering. I was like, what the hell is that? I've never felt that. But I had an appointment to see my doctor the following week. So I was like, okay, cool. When I went to see him, I was like, I'm about to get my results. It's cool. I'm going to tell him about this pain. I don't know what it is. He can give me a pill. I'm good to go. Went to the doctor. He done a sonogram and he was like, you could see on his face, my doctor's really chilled. So you could see on his face, like, he didn't know what happened. And he told me that the cyst had doubled in size and it is now so big that it's attached itself to the fallopian tube. You lot, I don't think you guys understand. I'm telling you the story, but you see, in the moment, I felt my heart go out my vagina, honestly, because I'm laying down on the bed, legs open, the man's inside me, and I'm like, what the hell? How? I've been eating well. How did it get worse? And he was like, you're going to have surgery again. And I know there's loads of people, shout out to you, that's had 3, 4, 5 surgeries and has to have hysterectomies and all manner of things. And it's not nice, you know? And the more you have surgery is the more at risk you're putting your fallopian tubes with the scarring, and anything can happen. They're so sensitive and small. They're very thin and anything can happen. So I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go through surgery again. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Just forget it. And he was like, no, you have to have the surgery, blah, blah. But he was saying, he was a bit skeptical. So he was saying, before you have surgery, maybe you should go and see a reproductive endocrinologist, which are specialist doctors who manage patients with endo who are having trouble reproducing, having children. So he was like, see them and see what they say first before we go and have any surgery. I went home, you guys, and I was defeated. I was deflated. I was upset. I was disappointed. I cried. I was just so overwhelmed with disappointment because I'd been doing everything right and it's come back. And it took me forever to find a reproductive endocrinologist under my insurance. And I found one in the state. One in the whole state of New York. I found one. He was in Manhattan. And I went to see him. And he done a sonogram. And he was like, look, if you as my daughter... I'm saying it nice. He weren't that nice. But he was okay. He was like, if you was my daughter, I wouldn't do surgery again. What I would do is put you on this pill called Oralisa. He was like, your cyst, yeah, it's quite big, but I wouldn't go for surgery first. The Oralisa is new in the market. It should, over time, decrease your cyst. And also, I had one cyst, so both doctors saw one cyst on my right ovary. That was what that pain was, by the way. Excuse me. So I had one cyst and it was massive, and he said it should decrease over time. It puts you into the same menopausal state as Lupron, so I'd be back in the menopausal state, but it wasn't as intense as Lupron, he said. Lupron is very intense. They only really want you to be on it for like 6 months. This you can be on for a year or 2 years depending on the dosage. So it comes in 2 dosages, 150 and 200. So he was like, you can be on that for a long period of time until, you know, you figure out what you want to do in terms of having children or whatever. So I was like, okay. I left there thinking, okay, I'm not fully convinced, because what I don't want to do is not have surgery and know that I needed it, or have surgery and know that I didn't need it. So I've got 2 different opinions. One is different to the other. Okay, so I didn't know what to do. So I thought, let me get a 3rd opinion. But in the meantime, let me look about this Oralisa pill. Before that, put a pin there. Before that, my original gynae, he took a smear test also. So I was waiting for the results of the smear test while I was seeing these specialists. So I had another specialist that I wanted to see to get a 3rd opinion about what I'm meant to be doing. So I booked an appointment to see another gynae. Like I said, there was only one reproductive endocrinologist in the state, so I had to see another gynae. And in that meantime, before I saw her, I was trying to get this Oralisa pill. My insurance said, nah, we ain't paying for that. And this pill was about $1,000 per box, right? And I needed maybe a year's worth, or maybe even 2 years worth. I'm like, why are they making these things so expensive? Like, it's not my fault I got endo. Do you know what I mean? So I was back and forth with the insurance and my doctor, but it was so draining. The process was draining. And I appealed with my insurance. They said, sorry, sent a letter, sorry, appeal has been denied. They was like, the only thing left for you to do is do a state appeal. And I thought, you know, I ain't going through all of that. Like, because I mean, I would have to get a lawyer, representative. Like, why? For a pill? So like, no, forget that. Let me see what doctor number 3 is saying. Went to see doctor number 3. Doctor number 3, no, sorry, lies. Doctor number 1 didn't do the smear test. Doctor number 3 done the smear test. She was the one who was like, you need to have a smear test. I had one last year. She's like, people with endo need to have a smear test once a year. So she done the smear test, and she was quite cold actually. So I done the smear test with her, and it was horrible. It's not like the normal smear test. She put vinegar up inside me so she can see what where to cut, and she was just cold. You know, I'm telling her, you know, I'm not that sexually active, so this is going to be very painful. She's like, you'll be fine, you wanted this. Hey, I'll speak to you on another video about doctors, right? And black women especially. So that smear test was horrible. I was bleeding, and she said to me she wouldn't have surgery if she was me. She didn't do a sonogram, so she didn't see the size of the cysts. She said she wouldn't do surgery. The Oralisa is too expensive. She would put me back on Lupron, but this time 3-month Lupron, which I was telling you guys, it comes in either 1 month or 3 months. 3-month Lupron, and, you know, be on that for however long you need. And I'm like, but I know you're not meant to be on Lupron for a very long time. She's like, yeah, it's fine. I've got loads of patients that's on it for 2-3 years. And I'm like, you're not talking to me properly. Like, this is my body you're talking about. So I left her office feeling uncertain. Like, okay, what do I do? Okay, maybe not surgery then, but I'm going to have to either be on Lupron or this Oralisa, which they're not giving me, which seems to be the better option than Lupron, but I can't get it. I'm waiting to the smear test to come back, and I don't know what to do. And in that period I was just tired. I was so tired. I felt drained. I felt like defeated. I felt like I've done everything. What else can I do? And it was just push after push after push. It's like every time I got up, like life knocked me back down, and I was back down again, and I didn't know. And the smear test was abnormal, so I had to have another test. It was abnormal, and I did that mean that it could be cancerous cells. Um, so I was waiting to get back those results again also. So I got that news and I weren't happy about it. I went back to see doctor number one because I said, all right, if I'm going to go back on Lupron, I might as well go back with my original doctor. I'm not going to go on Lupron with a whole new doctor. Go back to the guy that I'm comfortable with, who we started this journey together anyway. So I went back and I went to see him, and he done another sonogram. He wanted to find out what happened. It's been about 4 weeks since I'd seen him first, and he done another sonogram, and his face, what, honestly, you lot, I was laying on the table again, and legs open wide like the day I was born, and he pushed the thing inside me, and I'm looking at his face because I don't know what I'm reading on the thing. I'm looking at his face, and his face was like he didn't know what to tell me. And he said to me, it had now doubled again in size to the point where you couldn't even see the fallopian tube anymore. And it was before, it was, so it started off at 2 centimeters, then it doubled, it went to 4 centimeters. Now it was at 8 centimeters. And he showed me, you lot, this is not something he just told me out the blue. He showed me on the screen the big ball of darkness. So it's a sonogram, it's black and white. And it was a big ball of darkness, and he measured it in front of me. So I saw the 8 centimeters black ball basically. And I saw it in contrast to the rest of my uterus. So I saw my left ovary, I saw all of that, and I saw my uterus, and I saw this big black ball. So he was like, you have to have surgery, because if it hits 10 centimeters, it will rupture. And if it rupture, it can poison you. And poison you, you will die. So it had grown 4 centimeters in the space of 4 weeks, maybe even less than that. So I'd come back home. I was told it was 8 centimeters. If it gets to 10, it's going to rupture. I was waiting for the smear test to find out if I had cancer. On top of everything else that was happening in my life, I couldn't get the Oralisa. Everything was just bad. And I cried one night, and I felt like a walking time bomb, honestly, because it's like anything I do, it could rupture at any minute. It don't have to wait to 10 centimeters, it can rupture. And I just felt so low, on top of the pills that I was on, which already puts you into depression. I was just so low, you lot. Honestly, I was low, and I had enough. And I woke up one morning, pain woke me up. The pain actually woke me up on my right side. That same pain I said I had before is that same pain I got again on my right side. And it woke me up. And that night that it woke me up, I remember thinking, this is not worth it. Now, honestly, I couldn't pray anymore. I couldn't talk about it anymore. I didn't know if I had cancer. I didn't know if I'll be able to have children after this cyst. And I was a walking time bomb. And I didn't know what I was doing to making it so bad. And I felt like I don't need to be here anymore. And I wrote a letter, a prayer, sorry, not a letter. I wrote a prayer in my phone because I didn't have the energy to physically talk the prayer. So I had to write the prayer in my phone to God. And I thought about taking my life. Honestly, to God, as He is my witness, I thought about taking my life, and two things saved me that night. And that was, I know that taking your life is the biggest sin. so you go straight to hell. And that scared me. And my mom, I didn't want to leave her with that burden of thinking, could she have done something? You know, she would blame herself for not being here and all manner of things. And I didn't want to leave that on her. I thought that was very selfish of me. So those two things saved me that night. But I thought about what I would write and leave to my friends. I thought about people who I weren't talking to, and how I wanted to just mend it and just make them know that no love lost, like I love you, like that's it. And everyone else who I've hurt or disappointed, I wanted to make right. And I wanted to leave a letter to all those who loved me and cared about me, and I just wanted to go. And I thought that that was it. And God saved me that night. And I tell you this story to say to you, please, please protect your mental health. It's so important when you're on this journey with endo to protect your mental health. Don't make anyone make you feel like you're less than because you're not a sufferer or you haven't been diagnosed. Your mental health matters. And my secret sauce is God. When I couldn't pray for myself, I had people praying for me. Thank God for people in my life. Like, you know, my mom introduced me to this lady called Lisa, and she has been an actual angel, spiritual mother. My friends, my family, people were praying for me when I didn't have the strength to pray for myself, because I was done. I was over it. I was like, forget it. I told myself I have cancer, I can't have kids, I'm about to blow up any minute now. Like, and then on top of everything else that I had going on, that was it. So that saved me that night. And I'm gonna just wrap up this story. So I got back my test results the next day. The next day I got my test results for the smear test. I don't have cancer. Amen. I don't have cancer, and my doctor told me that before he does surgery on me, he wants me to go for an MRI. And I went for the MRI, and I'm gonna leave it there. And I'm gonna tell you next video what happened after the MRI and what else happened and what I needed to do and didn't do and the 8 centimeters and all of that great stuff. But I'm so happy I done this, because I want to encourage people to really, really protect your mental health. Get a family, get a friend, get a fan of yours, someone to talk to. Strengthen your relationship with God if you have one. If you don't have one, I would suggest you get one, because he's the best. Like, he saved my life so many times, but that particular time I was on my way out. Honestly, I was so close, so close. So get a relationship with God. If you have got one already, strengthen your relationship. Get people who to pray for you, because there will be times where you don't have the energy. Get people to pray for you and your team, your friends. Get people around you who are supportive and who's going to understand. Know your body. Don't let the doctors tell you anything. Know your body. And therapy. Please, my black people, yeah, I'm talking to you lot now. We have a thing against therapy. Like, you know, we don't need it. We're strong, yeah? Therapy is so important. So important. I've not too long started mine, and it's doing wonders for me. Therapy is brilliant. Like, invest in it. If you have to seek a few people, don't just go for your first one. Like, do what, you know, if your first one works for you, you're lucky. If not, play around, go shopping for therapists, but speak to someone. And journal. That's another thing that helped me. Write it out. Write it out, because sometimes people don't understand your pain. No one knows your pain like you. Write it out and get those thoughts out, and you'll be good. You'll be good. I promise you, I'm a witness that you'll be good. And my story don't end there. So don't think that it just was upsailing from there. But I'm not in the same dark place. And I put that to God and my team. So thank you guys for watching. Protect your mental health. I'm going to put some things down below if you know, some hotlines or maybe some groups that can help you to talk it out, and let's speak about it more. Let's get the conversation going. 27 minutes, my longest video. I told you lot it would be long, but thank you guys for liking, subscribing, viewing. If you got to the end of this video, God bless you. Thank you, and I'll speak to you guys next time for the next part of the story. All right guys, stay blessed. Bye.